This is session 4 of the all-in-one one-day session. You do not need to put your name in the chat session again unless you are just logging into session 4. If you've been here since 9 a.m., then I'll go ahead and give you credit for all 4 of those. Not a problem. So what we're going to do today is we are going to talk about a couple of non-Canvas things that you're going to need to help you with your Canvas, and then go over real quickly, where do we go from here? What's the next step? Because you are not Canvas experts right now. You're not going to be Canvas experts before we get to the final push, August 13th, or whenever that might be. So let's just see what happens. We are going to really briefly build a home page. So this is, like I said, going to be the last step. You're going to organize your modules, you're going to create your assignments, you're going to get your lesson plan, start off with just a week at a time. You don't want to build too much because honestly, at this point, you're not 100% sure how you're going to want this set up. In your mind, you kind of think, you know, once you get into the classroom and you start getting in there and actually working with it and seeing how the students react and how the students engage with it, you're probably going to change your mind. So don't build too much, but get everything prepared. So put your modules in there, start building your assignments, start creating your quiz text banks. But let's go ahead and build a homepage, because this is probably the most fun thing to do if you're really artsy crafty. So I'm going to go to Pages, and Pages is just that. It's like a web page. It's all click-based, click-oriented. So one page is always going to come up. That's going to be the front page. If you click on View All Pages, you can see all of the different pages that are within any course. And you may have several. You may just have a few. So we're just going to create a new one. So we'll call this our welcome page. Okay, maybe this is just the first start. We still have all of the rich content editors. So you can create your text just like you normally would. You can change your font. You can change your settings. You do not have a lot of font options within Canvas. The reason for this is that Canvas has done some studies and found out that a lot of different fancy fonts is not really easily used for accessibility students, dyslexia, other disabilities, and it can sometimes get overwhelming. So they limit their content to just one font, but you have the different style settings. So you can use these. If you want to get fancy on fonts, I'll show you that in just a second. Now, one of the things that you need to keep in mind is that when you are adding images that the students will be able to click on to go to different websites or assignments or videos or quizzes, you want those to be age-appropriate links. So if you're dealing with pre-K, you're not going to want text links. You're going to want images that they click on. If you're doing 5th or 6th grade, the students can easily click on the word Monday or the word math homework. So kind of use that in figuring out how you want to do it age appropriately. But when you add images to this, unlike a Word document or a PowerPoint, things cannot be moved. You cannot change the anchoring of the position of the documents. So we are going to use a table simply to anchor items. So we're going to go ahead and put a table in here. Now, this button here will allow you to edit all of the table properties, okay? So we're going to come down here. You can change the border. So when you see a web page or when you see someone's fancy Canvas homepage, you don't see the lines, but they've used a table to create it. What they've done is they've set the border width to 0 so that they see these different options, but the students don't see them. The table is just there for alignment purposes. And you can do things like select cells. Again, everything's going to be under that table property. And you can merge the cells together. So you can put a single image here. You can take a cell and you can change the color of that cell. So you can go to the advanced properties and you could say, I want this table to have a fairly thick border for this cell. I want to do a border around the cell. I want the border to be black, and I want the background color to be gray. You can use the 6-digit hexadecimal codes, or you can just type in primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. So now what we've done is we've created a table that kind of looks like it has a button. And so let's do that with all 4 of these. So we're going to take these 4 cells, and we are going to give them all the same. I like inset. It just looks like it's kind of buttony. And so now we've created what appears to be buttons. So if I save this, what the students are going to see is just those buttons. Now I haven't added anything into it, so it doesn't have any height yet. So let's do that. Let's add a couple of things. So let's say I'm in kindergarten and I might want math, reading, weather. So I'm going to put in a picture. So I'm going to click on this first cell. I'm going to insert an image. I'm going to use that Unsplash just because it's quick. And so let's look for numbers. All right. So my button for math may simply be a picture of some numbers. Now that's way too big. So we're going to change the size. We're going to click on the image. We're going to click on image options. And these are the sizes right here. Now you're probably not used to these. These are called pixels. So it's basically the number of pixels on the computer screen. For most of these, buttons should be between 100 and 200 pixels. It'll automatically scale it. And so that gives you a nice size button. And we can center it. And so maybe for math, or for reading, we want to insert a picture. And let's look for some books. So now we're doing things that are more image-based for our younger pre-readers or our emerging readers, okay? So we'll enter a book picture, and you can find these images anywhere. There's a bunch of copyright-free websites like Pixabay or Shutterfly, or just make sure that they're copyright-free. Oops. I'm over-clicking. Now I'm really over-clicking. There we go. All right, so super simple, right? I created some images. Now I want those images to become links. So I'm going to highlight the image, and I'm going to add a link to it. That link can be an external website. So if I want them to go to Clever or Khan Academy or Extra Math or Prodigy or anything like that, I can put an external link, try and limit that, or I can link it to an assignment. So today for math, we're going to choose one of the assignments we've already created. We're just going to add that math assignment. And now when the student clicks on that picture, it's going to take them directly to that assignment. They don't have to go to assignments. They don't have to go to modules. It's going to take them directly to that. And then maybe this assignment, we want them to go to a YouTube video to watch a story that they're going to read. So over here, we would put, we would embed the video, or we would add that YouTube video to the link, okay? So think about different ways that you can use images. Now, if you're doing 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, you can actually create a text link. So you can type Monday homework assignment, any word that you want to create a link, you're just going to highlight and do the exact same process, okay? So if the words Monday homework need to go to an assignment that's built in the course, link to that assignment, okay? And you can do the same thing. You can change the text color. You can take this and change it to center justified, just like anything else. So let's say I want that to be a little bit larger. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to increase the font size. And so now I have different ways to make clickable buttons very easily within my home page. All right. Now, Real quickly, I'm going to show you how to get fancy, okay, because fancy is always good. So we are going to go to a website called Canva. All right, now, if Campus and Canvas were not confusing enough, we're adding in Canva. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to create a free Canva account. So just go to canva.com, create your account, and then I'm going to put the link here. I want you to sign up for a free Canva for Educators account. Okay, here is why. Every account that you sign up for, now until forever, I want you to sign up as a teacher, whether it's Amazon or eBay or Canva or Pixabay or anything. I want you to sign up for everything as a teacher. And the reason I want you to do that is because Canva just a little while ago announced that they were going to give free pro access. That's $159 a year normally. Free pro access to teachers if they can prove that they're teachers. So you're going to go to this Canva education page. You're going to create an educator account. You just need to send them a picture of your ID, your school ID that says teacher on it, and you will get a free account. And the upgrades are really great for Canva. All right, so let me go ahead and go back to my Canva account and show you what you can do with this. So you want to make a page that looks like you know a lot about web programming, but you don't know anything about web programming. And you want a page that makes you look like you are really creative, but you're not very creative. This is what you do, because that's me. So I'm going to create a design. I'm going to use custom dimensions. We're just going to make a banner for the top of our homepage. So I'm going to do 1,000 by 300. You can change this if you want. This is just kind of a standard. You can see it's going to give me a nice long rectangle. I don't want to start from scratch. I can click on this and I can create a background color, and I can go to photos and I can add some photos, and I can go to text and I could pick a really cute font and then add my name, and I could be done. But I don't really find myself a very creative person, and so to me that doesn't look good. I just always second guess myself. You can delete any part of this. You can change the text. You can highlight this and change the font color. I mean, you can do anything you want with this particular program. So sky's the limit on this one. However, if you're like me, I don't have time for it. I don't have the creative energy for it. So I want someone else to do it for me. So I'm going to come up here to templates, and I'm going to find something cute. So there's my banner. It's cute, it's adorable. I can go in here and I can change this. And now I have my banner, and it was so easy. I'm just going to download it. I'm going to download it as a PNG. It downloads straight to my computer, literally, what, 10 seconds? I go back to my home page. I want my banner to be up at the top. I'm going to insert an image. I'm going to upload it from my computer. I just downloaded it right there. I'm going to center it up. And now it looks like I'm really fancy, okay? So from here, I can go in and I can change my background color to make it the same blue. I can change my table width to 1,000 so that it takes the whole thing up. If you go to Canva, this is a really neat feature. Canva will show you the colors that are used in your image. So all of these are individual pictures. So you can kind of move those around. They just copied them. So there's really a bunch of different levels to this. But if you look up at the top, they will show you some of the colors that are used in the picture. So let me get this out of the way. So there's my background. So if I want to make the rest of my table the same color, make it nice and uniform, I'm going to come up here to this background color. Oh, I'm waiting for it to give me the code for it. Normally when you click on this, it gives you that hexadecimal code for the color. I'm not sure why it's not working right now. But anyway, you'll have to play with that. But it'll allow you to take this one color. Oh, there it is, 78D0E6. So I can take this table and I can change the entire background color to 78D0E6. Yep, that looks like it. And so now it looks more seamless, okay? I would obviously change my buttons and everything else. But so when the students see it, they see this nice, pretty homepage. So you can see how this should kind of be the last thing that you create so that you can go in and throw all of your stuff together at the end and make one homepage. Now, once you do that, you have to tell the computer that that's your new homepage. So you're going to look at all of your pages and notice one of them will always say front page. That's going to be your main homepage. Think of that as like your landing site for your entire Canvas course. So in order to make the one that we just did, which one did we just create? July 23rd, that's look like, okay, welcome page. We're gonna come over here to these three dots, and we're gonna use this one as the front page. So now you'll see that the front page changed from this one to this one. So when we go to the home page, now we see that new page we just created. And this will be exactly what the students see. And we'll be able to check all of these links. That links to assignment 1. That would link to something else. That links to an assignment. And we can make sure that it does that by making sure that the home page is set to the front page, okay? You can have it do activity stream or modules or assignments list. For you 5th and 6th grade teachers, you might want to do models instead, or the modules instead of the home page, just because they're old enough to kind of follow through that. But for you littles, make sure that you're using a page for your home page and just make sure that everything is a clickable link. And again, those Canvas guides, cannot stress this enough. I can't go over everything for creating a home page. But what I want you to do for this is I want you to come in here and I want you to look at the rich content editor and the new rich content editor. That's what you're going to use to build your home page. There are a lot of people on Facebook right now and Twitter and a bunch of different social networks that are sharing their home pages. So they may come up with something really cute and they can send it to you within Canva or within Canvas, or they can export it to you. We have a whole new society of side gigs where people are creating home pages and Google Slides for each other. So if you're really good at this, this might need to be a new side hustle for you. But just remember, it doesn't have to be complicated. Keep it really simple. I'll show you real quick what we used at the secondary level. And it worked just fine. So let me go into my courses because I unfavorited them. So here is my pre-AP geometry course that we had. So this was my homepage. I simply had a little graphic that we created in Canva, text instructions, and then each day they just had a different link that they clicked on. So if you're elementary school, the only difference to this might be that instead of text links, those are pictures. So in Canva, you can do one little icon that says Monday, and that's your clickable image. So just think about different ways that you can do that. But again, that's not going to be the focus of your summer. That's going to be your fun after everybody goes to bed and you want to play with it for a while. Okay, so there's a couple of other things that I really want to make sure that you know how to use some outside tools to help build your Canvas page. And one of those is PDF documents. The best document to upload to any digital media like this is going to be a PDF for a couple of reasons. One, you don't have to have any software to open up a PDF file. Everybody has free PDF readers. So you don't have to have subscriptions to Office or anything else. You don't have to worry about fonts or formatting or things moving like you do sometimes with Word documents or PowerPoint presentations. So PDF is a really safe way to get your files out. So I'm going to show you real quick, and this might be your best friend. So I don't know about you, but when I was teaching elementary school, I had a teacher whose classroom I moved into. She retired, and she left 4 stackable 4-drawer file cabinets full of amazing worksheets and handouts and resources, but she did not put any of them on the computer. So I didn't have an electronic copy of anything. So the first thing I did was I downloaded an app called Office Lens. Okay, so this is the icon. It's red with a little Office Lens in it, and it's basically just a camera. Now, the reason I like Office Lens, there's a dozen different apps you can use, but Office Lens is going to communicate with your OneDrive, your Office 365 files seamlessly. So let's say I've got this worksheet. I found it in a file cabinet. I want to assign it. So I'm going to take this sheet of paper. I'm going to set it down on the desk, making sure that I have some contrast. I'm going to take a picture of it. Okay. I don't have to do anything special. I don't have to make sure that I only get the paper. I don't have to make sure that it's straight. I don't have to make sure that my camera is directly on top of it. If it's skewed a little bit, it's no big deal. It's going to draw a box just around that document, and then it's going to get rid of all the background noise and just leave me that white document. From there, I can take that and I can export it directly to any number of apps. So I can export it to a picture, Word, I can email it to myself, or you can see I have my OneDrive listed there. So I'm just going to click on my OneDrive, and it's going to let it save directly to my Office OneDrive account. And now I have a PDF copy of this worksheet that I can put into an assignment. So if nothing else, over the next week, if you don't want to start building this, but you need to be doing something, take all of your worksheets that you have at home, because we know we all brought it home with us, and go ahead and just start converting all of your worksheets to those PDFs. And it makes it super easy to just throw those into an assignment really fast, not a lot of extra work. Another thing I want to show you is a lot of you have resources from some of the textbook companies where you've got like the student workbook in PDF form. So you may have a 50-page or 100-page PDF document. Well, you certainly don't want to add that entire thing to an assignment. You may only want to add 1 page. So let's take this PDF. So this is a copy of an ACT test. It's the entire ACT test. I might not want to actually put in the entire ACT test, but just a couple of pages. You can do this from any document, a Word document, a PowerPoint, an Excel file, any type of document that you have, you can create a PDF copy from this. So once this loads, this is 192 pages. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to pick a page that I want to put. So let's say I want to put this page as an assignment. This is page 97. So I'm going to print this document, but I'm not actually going to print it. I'm going to print to PDF. All Windows 10 operating systems have this. Macintosh, I'm sure there's a way for you to do it. I'm not aware of it because I'm not a Mac person. So you're going to print to PDF. And that allows you to do 2 things. 1, if it's not a PDF file, it will create a PDF copy of it. 2, if it is a PDF file, you can choose just specific pages. So I can choose just that 1 page, and that's the page that I want to create a separate PDF file. So now this would be called ACT page 72, and that's the 1 page that I could add, or 97 is what it should have been. Now that single page I can add to an assignment. So that's another great feature. If you do a lot of work with files, you can go to a couple of different websites. One is called PDF Candy. Oh, sorry, I thought that was the web browser. PDF Candy is a good one. It will let you do a lot of different editing within a PDF file without having to have an Adobe Creative Cloud license. So you can take a PDF and convert it to a Word document. You can split PDFs into multiple pages. You can delete pages. Rearranging I found very helpful. Watermarks, ladies, if you're going to do this for other people, that would be really nice. But all of these are really great free resources for PDFs. But PDFs are going to be your best friend. Okay, so now let's say I have this worksheet and I want to use part of this worksheet or part of a website within my assignment, but not the whole thing. So let's say I just want to do this one question. All right, I'm going to use an app that's called Snip Tool. So if you're on a Windows computer, you're going to click the Start button and you are going to look for the app Snip Tool. Now, can you guys see that, or do I need to change how I'm sharing my screen? I think I need to change how I'm sharing the screen. So let me switch over real quick. Instead of just the one screen, I'm going to show you a portion of the screen. There we go. Okay, so now you should be able to see on the bottom left, I have the 4 white squares that make the start flag. And I'm just going to type the word snip, and it's going to come up with the snipping tool. I think it's called Grab It on Macintosh. I think that's what someone told me. This is a screen capture, but it allows you to just do a small portion of the screen. So when I do a new snipping tool, I can now highlight just the question that I want and save that as an individual JPEG file. So now I can take that file and I can upload it directly into my website or my assignment. So if I wanted to use that in one of my assignments, let's do this one. I seem to be building that one pretty well. I can insert it just like I can an image. So I would insert, upload image. I would upload that capture I just created. And now I have that in my assignment. I'm going to have to change the size of it. Nope, maybe not. But I could just like a regular image. I can go in and make it larger or make it smaller. So if I wanted to make that a little bit larger, I could. So that's a really easy way to, I'm not going to say steal, because we know that nobody's going to do this with copyrighted material. But if you have a textbook, if you have a paper copy of a textbook, think about the process that we've just outlined. You can use Office Lens to take a picture of a page in your textbook. Save it to PDF. Take one of the examples or one of the problems off of that PDF and insert it as an image. So now that textbook resource has instantly turned into digital content. And that's really the biggest thing. We don't want you to recreate digital content. We want you to be able to use what's already available. So if you have an online textbook, you can do the same thing. You can navigate to the online textbook website. You can turn to a page in the online textbook, use the snipping tool to snip a part of that screen, even from a website, and insert that into your Canvas page. So that's another really good way to get content digitally into your Canvas. Let's see. Ooh, we are getting to the end of stuff. All right. We're going to open it up to questions here pretty soon because we're doing pretty good. Okay, can we unbind a textbook and insert it into the Canvas page? If the textbook is owned by Moore Public Schools Adoptions and okay, if the book itself is owned by Moore Schools, I'm not going to give you permission to unbind that because that's destroying Moore Public Schools property. I will tell you that the Office Lens is very good about, even if the book is kind of curved a little bit, it will still straighten it out for you and give you a pretty good image of it. I have gone on Amazon and purchased an old copy of a textbook that we've used in class and cut all of the pages out and unbound it. You can actually take it to Kinko's, I guess now is FedEx, and they can cut that binding off. But yes, absolutely. Okay, what about a novel? Can we take a page from a novel? If you've purchased a novel and you're using it for fair use education, I'm going to give you a caveat. I am not a copyright expert. I would definitely make sure that you talk to your district coordinator about this. But if you have purchased a copy of that novel or even a class set, then I would imagine that that's something that you can do. You can certainly take a picture of it and post that PDF. If you own the book, you are allowed to take a picture of that page and post that, because you're not using it for personal gain. You're not using it for profit. You're using it for fair use education. So I think you're going to be okay on that, but please something else. And you can do this with teacher pay teacher documents. So if you have purchased a license for teacher pay teacher documents, you can add that, you can upload that in. The one thing that teacher pay teacher authors are really specific about, though, is that if you snippet part of their work, that you still give them credit for that. Within the Canvas, it's not quite so much of a problem because students are going to be the only ones that have access to it, but they still like for you to just cite where you got that image from. So that's good information. Okay, now, what are the expectations? What are going to be required? Does everybody's Canvas have to look the same? And the short answer is no. Moore Public Schools, like I said in session 1, is really good about teacher autonomy. We hired you because we trust that you can teach the kids. We don't require you to use the majority of the curriculum. We offer it to you. We highly encourage you to use it, but you are definitely free to supplement curriculum. And that is still true even within Canvas. We do ask for a little bit of consistency simply because keep in mind that you have parents that have multiple children at different levels within Moore Public Schools. I have 4 kids. So at one time I had 4 kids in 4 different schools. And that was very difficult. This last distance learning center, I had 3 kids in 3 different schools. So my 2 secondary kids each had 6 teachers and 6 Canvas courses. And then my elementary student had, 3 teachers and specials, and they did paper packets. And that's a lot as a parent to keep track of. So the more consistency we can add to our Canvas, the easier it's going to be for parents to hop from one class to another or one student to another to help navigate all of this. Now, if we go into a distance learning situation, the district will handle training for the students. The district will handle training for the parents the same way that we did for the secondary schools. So that's not going to be necessary on your part. You will need to model for the students in your class how to navigate your Canvas page so it's not brand new to them when they get a distance learning situation. But for the most part, we're going to handle that side of it. So if everybody in the building can use a home page, that doesn't mean that everybody has to have their home page linked by modules or content or weeks or days of the week. Just that when a parent or a student opens up the page, they're going to see some type of web-based, clickable interface, similar to what you would see on an app on like an iPad, that type of an environment. And if everybody's looks a little bit different but similar, it's really going to help the parents. If you make sure that all of your assignments have due dates, that is a big help. If you make sure that you're all communicating to the parents through a similar, I know some schools, all of the teachers use Remind, some schools, all of them use Class Dojo. So if you guys want to get together and your entire school uses the inbox for communication, you definitely can do that. But just keep in mind that consistency is going to help those parents help you with the students. As far as requirements, your building principal, just like any other year, is going to set their expectations. So in the past, your building principal may have said, I want your lesson plan on your desk available during the day. I want your objectives posted somewhere in the classroom. I want you to have a subfolder or a sub-plan, and I want you to have your syllabus available on your webpage. Well, this year, that may turn into you need your syllabus in Canvas, you need a list of your expectations in Canvas, and they may discuss with you whether or not your modules, if they're complete enough, could possibly work as your lesson plan instead of doubling that up. So that first faculty meeting, your building principal is going to give you a lot more information about their expectations, because that's really, again, we even give the building principals a lot of autonomy on that, simply because, you know, we've got great administrators and great teachers, so we trust everybody to make the right choices. Do use Office 365. Keep track of all your bookmarks. So if you'll look at my screen here, you're going to be going to a bunch of different websites. I mean, just today, I told you to go to moreschools.com, the EdTech page, canva.com, PDF Candy, Canvas Commons. I mean, we did lots of different websites today, right? So start bookmarking those at the top of your computer. So when you go to a website and you want to get to it again, click on this little star here to bookmark that particular page. Now, it happens every year. Students go home, or parents, teachers go home for the summer, and all of their bookmarks are on their computer at school. Or teachers come back from summer vacation and all of their bookmarks are on their computer at home. So on Google Chrome, if you will click on this little circle on the top right, you can see that I'm signed in under my More Schools account. I'm syncing with my More Schools account. So any bookmark that I create now, I will also be able to access anytime I sign on with my More Schools account on any computer. So that could be your school computer, that could be your home computer, and so you'll get that consistency across multiple platforms. So make sure that you come up here and click on this. If it's just a silhouette of a person, you're not logged in. If you click on it and it has your personal Gmail account, you're not logged into moreschools.com. You want to make sure that you use your moreschools.com, and that way you have access to everything that you need. Okay. All right, I'm going to open it up. I'm honestly tired of teaching right now. My body is not used to teaching on summer break. So I'm going to open it up to questions. So you can either unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can put it in the chat room. So we have one. Any differences between desktop and mobile phone Canvas interface? Yes, lots. So there are 3 Canvas apps. There's the Canvas Parent app, the Canvas Student app, and the Canvas Teacher app. I would highly recommend that you download the Canvas Teacher app, because the student view will show you what the students are going to see on the student app. So that's a great question. As long as you make your home pages nice and scalable, so all of your widths are like 100%, then it should translate pretty well. I haven't had any issues with students not being able to use, like last year we used Canvas all year long and we didn't have one-to-one devices. My students just used their cell phones. It worked across Android, it worked across iOS, it worked on tablets. It also worked even if they didn't have cellular data, because they could just log into the school Wi-Fi account and it worked just fine. So that's a great question. Let's see. Are you able to use Canva and put a banner on top of a Google slide? I believe you cannot put things on top of. So if you wanted to add something to a Google slide using Canva, you would have to go through Google Slides to add that as an image. However, there is a whole group of people who are experts at Google Slides. I'm not that person. I've never been a Google teacher. So if you go to, there's a couple Canvas for Elementary Facebook page, Canvas for Teachers Elementary Facebook page, teachers using Canvas. There's like a whole bunch. Tons of people on there will be more than happy to show you how to use Google Slides as a homepage and get everything to be clickable links and Bitmojis and all that fun stuff.
You can also do just kind of a little quick and easy one.
Mm-hmm.
Do it on your computer and then you snip it or use Grab It and then use that image and just throw it on. Then it's not layered.
Yeah.
No. In fact, that's what I'm kind of doing right now.
Awesome. Love to share that with us. Okay, can Big Ideas math assignments be linked to Canvas and Infinite Campus? Yes, so we use Big Ideas at the high school level as well. One of the things, there is a way to add the Big Ideas app. So within settings, you would come up here to apps. I think it was Big Ideas. It might have been Cengage or whatever the company was. But we were able to add it to the left over here as an app, and your curriculum coordinator will have the exact steps on that because every textbook is different. You can also, if you want, create an assignment and put your Clever. So you can have that external tool through Clever or that Cengage external tool through your assignment so that those will link. It will not link the grades. So if they go into Big Ideas to do the assignment, the grade is going to be within Big Ideas. We did a couple of things to kind of make that a little bit simpler. We did have the students take a picture of their final grade in Big Ideas and then upload that as the submission for the assignment so that we could quickly just enter in those grades and it would sync with Infinite Campus. Or as a teacher, you could just go into Big Ideas and pull those grades and manually put them into Infinite Campus. So whichever way works for you, there's a bunch of different ways to do that. Clever and the external tool within the assignments would probably be my suggestion, just because not all of the textbooks integrate as seamlessly as they say that they will. Let's see, will there be a Canvas training geared towards special education? Yes, I'm working with Kim Hurd right now. We kind of outlined that, and so I want to make sure that I have all of the answers to your questions because guys, one final thought. If you have a special ed teacher in your building, go give them a hug and share all of your content with them. So when you go to build your student roster course, I want you to add those special ed teachers, all of them, not just your grade level. You may teach second grade, and a 6th grade special ed reading teacher has a student who's reading on a 2nd grade level and could absolutely benefit from your content. So make sure that you add them under people as an observer or as a TA or as a designer, a contributor, so that they have access to your content as well. Because if you think that you guys are overwhelmed, these special ed teachers are absolutely, I mean, just their Infinite Campus roster is ridiculously complex. So how that's all going to integrate, we still don't 100% know for sure. But yes, we will definitely be getting that education, that special education trainer soon. You are absolutely welcome. Okay, any other questions? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Yep, absolutely. You will, and I'm going to tell you from experience, it doesn't 100% make sense until you actually get into the classroom and start using it. So if on August 12th you still feel completely lost, you're okay. As long as you have a start, you have content, and you're ready to try something, you're ready to go. And I've been doing this for 1.5 years and I still find out new stuff. And there still are teachers who are using Canvas in much better ways than I was using it. And so those PLCs are going to be huge right now. Networking, finding a partner. If you're the only music teacher in your building, you are not the only music teacher in Moore, and you're certainly not the only music teacher in Oklahoma. So expand those networks, share the wealth, share the work, help each other out, lift each other up. Nobody is going to call you and say, oh my gosh, my son's in your class and I just saw your Canvas page and it is horrible. Trust me, nobody has done it. Nobody will do it. We're all giving each other grace. The parents are very graceful. You know, we had some issues last year where we thought we published modules and we didn't. So we're like, how come nobody's turning in assignments? Well, they can't see them. And so you find that one student that's always the first one to turn stuff in and say, hey, Monday, I want you to make sure all my links are working and that you can access all the assignments. Or find that parent that's just on top of stuff. Just let you know it's not me. I'm not that parent. But it's going to be just fine. Okay, so where can you get a copy of these videos? I'm going to post this, all 4 of these, to my YouTube playlist. And so let me give you a copy of that link. So they will probably be posted by tomorrow, I would imagine. You can work through on your own. It takes a little while for those to upload, so. The last 4 sessions that I taught are on here as well. So you can go back and look at the first 4 sessions from last week if you don't want to wait, or by the end of today, these 4 sessions will be on there and you can go in and look at those. Absolutely. Okay, all right. And absolutely, guys, you will get to the point where you want to use Canvas every day, whether we're in distance learning or not. It's so easy. The last semester at the high school, I didn't take a single piece of paper home with me at night. Not one. The kids would work out the worksheets. I still made photocopies. They didn't turn anything into me. They took a picture, they submitted it on Canvas, and I just sat there on my computer and graded them right there in my living room with my laptop. I didn't have any more cases where, you know, Oklahoma wind blew my papers all across the parking lot, or I lost something, or the student said I lost something, or I had to contact a parent and say, well, they never turned it in, and then it gets to an argument. It was so wonderful. There are so many parts of this that are really, really going to make your job easier. Not today, not this week, but eventually, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording, and I will stay on here for a couple of minutes to go ahead and catch any last minute questions. Feel free to go